person did, the Bain Capital type of thing, but they've been running ads, and I know you're not affiliated with it. Can you talk about the ad where the gentleman was your business partner from New York? You flew a company of 50 to New York to rescue his daughter. Can you tell that story?
Yes, I haven't thought about that for a while, so let me see if I can get the facts straight. I haven't seen the ad in a number of years. For those that aren't familiar with it, I mean, I did what you all would do. I was responsible for a business. The business I started, called Bain Capital, invested in starting businesses and in some cases in acquiring existing businesses, usually those that weren't doing terribly well. And one day one of my partners came to the office, and I think it was a Tuesday, if I could recall correctly, and he said, his name was Bob, he said, my daughter, without permission, went into New York City. They live in Connecticut, went to New York City, went to a party, and that she did, I think it was on Sunday, and now it's Tuesday, and she hasn't been home. We don't know where she is. She's lost. And I think she was 15 or so at the time that occurred. And so I said, let's close the firm, let's close the company. We're in Boston, and let's all of us fly down to New York and try and find her. And so we closed the business. We went home and packed our things. We got a hotel near the airport where we all went to. We set up a headquarters. We met with the detectives in the New York City Police Department. We hired a private investigating firm to help guide us through this process. We happened at that time to be an investor in a drugstore company in New York City called Duane Reade. They had a lot of stores, I think 100 stores in Manhattan. And so we printed out flyers with her picture, and we had the store stuff them in every bag for every customer so that they could see this young woman. And then we contacted our law firm in New York. Said, we need some lawyers to go out with us and walk the streets and look for her. And then we contacted our accounting firm. We said, we need some accountants to go out and walk the streets with us. And so there we were, a bunch of folks in suits, walking around in the park of New York and in the streets and showing pictures and saying, when we saw teenagers, have you seen this girl? And we heard people say, yeah, we saw her. She was at a party. And we got reports of that nature. Interestingly, after a day or two of that, it made the news. There are all these guys walking around asking kids if they'd seen a picture of this young lady, guys in suits and briefcases. And it makes a big item in the news, and we got a call into our hotline where someone called and said, is there a reward for this return of this young lady? And the person said, hold on a moment. The caller hung up on them. And we were able to trace that call and go to that home. It was in New Jersey, and we found her in the basement of that home. Oh. And she is I was moved by the generosity of people working at the drugstore, the accounting firm, the law firm that spent their time going around looking to try and help others. I remember on one occasion, one of our team reported that he showed that flyer of her picture to a girl, I don't recall what her age was, and he said, are you looking, or have you seen this girl? And she said, no, I haven't seen her, but you're not the first person that's come up to me and asked me if I've seen her. And she said, I wish my parents cared so much about me that they would do something like this for me. We're a generous people. I remember I was out at the Olympics in 2002 in Salt Lake City, helping organize the games. There was a report of a tornado, I believe it was in Oklahoma City. One of the fellows that I heard about, I actually met him as well. He said it'll take forever for FEMA to get there to help them. He said, I'm going to take my minivan and fill it with bread from the local bakery and just drive to Oklahoma City, give people some bread. And he got ready to do that, and then the radio station heard about it and said, if you want him to take some stuff for you, come to a parking lot in downtown Salt Lake City. So much stuff started to arrive, they had to get 2 semi-truck trailers to fill up with goods and services, goods rather. And so he did a little caravan with his minivan and two semis, drove to Oklahoma City. They were met by, the police that cordoned off the area. He said, I'm just here helping out. They let him through, and he distributed blankets and food and so forth. The stories of America's generosity. We're a generous people. We're a people that care for others. I love this country. What an amazing land we live in.